Big blind is $20. Small blind is $10.
Fold.
I fold.
I raise.
The gentleman calls. Flop.
I check.
Turn.
Check. I fold.
Check. That is a lot to bet. Caramba. I fold.
The gentleman wins $370.
I fold.
Raise.
The gentleman calls.
I raise.
Fold.
I fold.
Look out for me.
The gentleman calls. The gentleman calls. The gentleman calls.
I check.
The flop.
Fold.
Fold.
I raise, por favor.
Turn.
Check.
The river.
I raise.
I win. I fold.
Caramba. I fold.
The flop.
Check.
Player checks. Turn.
Check.
Check.
Player checks. The river.
Check.
Fold.
I fold.
The gentleman wins $123. The gentleman calls.
Fold.
Fold.
I
Fold.
raise. I fold.
The gentleman wins $289. The gentleman calls. The gentleman calls. The flop.
I check.
Turn.
Check.
Fold.
Raise. Oh, I am shaking.
Split pot.
I fold.
I fold.
I fold.
That is a lot to bet.
Flop. Player checks. Turn.
Raise.
The river.
I raise. I am the winner.
Fold.
I fold.
The gentleman calls. The flop.
Fold.
Fold, I fold.
The gentleman wins $140.
I raise.
The gentleman calls.
Fold.
The gentleman calls.
I raise.
Fold.
That's a lot to
I
bet.
check.
All in with $530. The gentleman wins $900. This player is out of money. Player has left the table. The gentleman calls. The gentleman calls. Flop.
I raise.
I fold.
Pardon, those chips are mine.
I raise.
Fold, I fold.
The flop.
Fold.
Fold.
The gentleman wins $351.
I raise.
Fold.
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 The gentleman wins $247. The gentleman calls. The gentleman calls.
Raise.
Fold.
The flop.
Raise.
I raise, por favor.
Fold.
Fold.
I raise, por favor.
I fold.
Turn.
I raise, por favor.
The gentleman calls. River.
I check.
The gentleman calls. The gentleman wins $310.
Raise.
Raise.
Oh, I am shaking. Fold, I fold.
All in with $86.
Raise.
Turn. The river.
Sorry, I won.
Player has left the table. The gentleman calls. Player checks.
I fold.
Give me the chips.
The gentleman calls.
I raise, por favor.
The gentleman calls.
Check.
Check.
I fold.
Caramba. I fold.
The gentleman wins $425. The gentleman calls. The gentleman calls. Flop.
I check.
Check.
I raise.
The gentleman calls.
I raise, por favor. Qué lástima for you. I won.
The gentleman calls.
Raise.
The gentleman calls. The flop.
Fold.
Turn.
I check.
All in $652. The gentleman calls. The gentleman wins $1,398.
I raise.
Oh, I am shaking.
The gentleman calls.
Raise.
Fold.
Give me the chips.
Fold.
Raise.
The flop.
I raise. Fold.
The gentleman wins $457.
I raise, por favor.
The gentleman calls.
Fold.
Turn. All in with $457. The gentleman wins $719.
Fold.
I raise, por favor.
Turn. River.
Check.
I raise.
The gentleman calls.
I win!
I fold.
I raise.
The gentleman calls. The flop.
Caramba. I fold.
Check.
The flop.
I
Fold. I fold.
The gentleman wins $80. The gentleman calls.
Oh, I am
I
ashamed.
raise, por favor.
The gentleman calls. The flop.
I raise.
Fold.
Turn. The gentleman wins $566. This player is out of money. Has left the table. The gentleman calls. The flop. Player checks. Turn.
Fold.
The gentleman wins $169. The gentleman calls. Player checks. Turn.
Check.
River.
Check. Caramba. I fold.
The gentleman wins $180. The gentleman calls. The gentleman calls.
I raise.
Turn.
I raise.
The gentleman calls.
river.
The gentleman wins $1,004.
I check.
Turn. River.
Check. Caramba. I fold.
The gentleman wins $310.
I raise, por favor.
The gentleman calls.
Raise. I raise, por favor.
The river.
Fold. I fold.
The flop.
Check. Check. Caramba. I fold.
The gentleman wins $150. Flop. Player checks.
I check.
All in $492. The gentleman wins $984. Player checks.
Caramba. I fold.
The gentleman wins $130. The gentleman calls. Player checks.
Caramba. I fold.
The gentleman wins $60. The flop.
Raise.
These are real skills, my friend. Fold. I fold.
The gentleman wins $97. The gentleman calls. Flop. Turn. The river.
I raise, por favor. Raise. Look out for me.
Player checks. The gentleman wins $124.
Raise.
Flop. Player checks. Turn.
Check. Fold.
The gentleman wins $290.
I raise.
The gentleman calls.
Flop. Caramba. I fold.
The gentleman wins $196. Flop.
Fold.
The gentleman wins $60. The gentleman calls. Player checks.
Raise. I got you.
Flop.
I raise, por favor.
The gentleman calls.
Check.
The gentleman calls.
I raise, por favor. Qué lástima for you. I won. Raise. Caramba. I fold.
The gentleman wins $706. The gentleman calls. Flop.
Fold, I fold.
The gentleman wins $100. The gentleman calls. Player checks.
Fold, I fold.
The gentleman wins $150. The gentleman calls.
I raise, por favor.
The gentleman calls. The gentleman wins $226. The flop.
Check.
The gentleman calls.
River. I raise, por favor. Perdón, those chips are mine.
The gentleman calls. The flop.
Check. Caramba. I fold.
The gentleman wins $60. The gentleman calls. The flop. The gentleman calls. River.
I raise, por favor. Qué lástima for you. I won. Oh, I am shaking. I raise, por favor. Caramba. I fold.
The gentleman wins $224.
Oh, I am shaking.
Player checks.
Fold, I fold.
The gentleman wins $200.
That is a lot to bet. I raise, por favor. Fold.
The gentleman wins $268.
Oh, I am shaking.
The gentleman calls.
Flop. Check.
Player checks.
Fold.
The gentleman wins $380. The flop.
Fold.
The gentleman wins $138. The gentleman calls. The gentleman calls.
flop.
I raise, por favor.
Turn. The gentleman calls.
I raise.
The gentleman wins $652.
I raise. I check. Fold, I fold.
The gentleman wins $228. The gentleman calls.
Fold.
The gentleman wins $60. Flop. Turn.
Check. Ah, caramba. I fold.
The gentleman wins $100.
Ah, caramba. I fold.
The gentleman wins $30.
Check. I check.
Player checks. Turn. Player checks.
Check. Fold. I raise, por favor.
Flop. Player checks. Total pot is $1,516. The gentleman wins $1,974.
Check.
Turn. All in with $46. The gentleman wins $92. This player is out of money. Has left the table.